Good afternoon and welcome to Real Talk on 3 right here on SABC3. My name is Anele and I can see things are a bit different, right? You can also see things that are a bit different. Usually we come from a state city. Today we are in New York City with Trevor Noah. Hello, sir.
Hello.
Did you see I called you sir? Because you're
That was
wearing
a very formal introduction.
I know, you're wearing a suit.
Is this how you talk when you're on your show?
Yes.
Is this like TV Anele?
Yes, because you're wearing a suit.
I just came from work.
I feel like I'm requesting a loan.
And I'm going to deny you.
I know.
Deny.
This is the thing. Even your body language.
Deny. Wait, are you asking for the loan in rands or dollars?
In rands.
Oh, after what happened, I'll give it to you gladly.
You just like
Tata.
So you want 2 peanuts and a Tropica for yourself.
Thank you for having me on the show at my show.
I told someone that I was interviewing you on your set, and they asked me, they was like, you know, when was the first time you met Trevor? And you know that I don't remember when we first met?
I remember when we first met.
Tell me.
The first time we met was in our circle of friends.
Yeah.
And that's honestly one of the greatest blessings I have, is the fact that I remember all my friends by how horrible their cars were.
Okay.
That's how I know all my friends are real. Because you know when people go, when did you meet? I can't tell you that, but I can remember what people were driving.
Okay, but I was driving an A3 then. I don't think it was all that horrible.
Yeah, it wasn't the new A3. It wasn't a nice one.
No, it wasn't. It was
Yes.
it was a bit beaten up
It was
as
the
well.
old A3, and you had bumped everything on the way. You look like you'd stolen it. Let me put it that way.
Like it wasn't
no
mine.
One, you know how you know your car is bad? When no one describes you by your car.
Oh.
If it's a nice car, they go, Anele. Oh, A3. That's what people say. Oh, the A3. No one said that about you. They're like, Anele.
Don't know the gap.
You see, your gap was the thing.
The gap was the prominent thing.
I don't remember when it was, but I knew you. I've known you for long.
I know.
Are we 10, 11 years now? More, maybe.
More, a little bit more. But I do remember that day where we MC'd together for New Year's Eve, that's the funniest, that's the story I go back to.
Yes.
And I laugh at, because you left before me after the gig. And then I was like, okay, bye, bye. And then you left. And then 5 minutes later, you came back running because some guy was following you.
I don't remember that.
Yes.
I came to you for help.
Yes.
Wow.
And I thought it was so strange.
Wow.
And as I recall that story, I'm like, Trevor doesn't know how to fight, actually. Do you know how to, to stick him up and...
I actually do.
Really?
Yeah. The problem with fighting is, though, you must remember, I used to be a boxer and a taxi driver.
This is true.
People forget this about me.
Okay.
But, like, I'm not a professional boxer, but I used to box. And then, like, also as a taxi driver, you can't afford to now be afraid of things. People are fighting with you about change from the back seat and what.
You have to be
can't
menacing.
Afraid. Yes.
Yeah.
But the thing with fighting is, you know, once you get involved in anything that's celebrity related, you realize that fighting, there's no winning.
Yeah.
So if I win the fight, I lose.
You're abusive.
And then if he beats me, I lose. So now, why am I fighting?
So do you have a person that you know that if a fight's going down, or if somebody's following you to your car, per se, that you can just call them, like a cousin, a cousin who's called Kila. You know, we all have that cousin, you know, who's got, he's got a name like he's a dog. Kila or Danger.
Prakila.
Yeah, or Danger.
Line News Cafe, Prakila. Prakila, I need you.
And then you have to sound angry on the phone so that the people who are trying to mess with you, they're just like, you know.
Just wait.
Or like Pablo. Hey, yo, Pablo.
When Kila comes, hey.
How Pablo afisha more, guys? As soon as Pablo gets
You
here.
think someone's going to, like, Pablo's now a thing now?
I actually knew a guy who was Pablo, and he was like
Really?
the fighter amongst the friends.
Wow,
until we watched him get beaten up, and then it was awkward for everyone.
Shame.
So do you have a person that you can call like that?
I do have a person who I can call like that. I feel bad saying his name. My friend Slebucho. Like,
Okay.
if that situation, you know, when there's people where you go like, buena?
You're gonna
Like,
get it.
no, it's fine. It's fine. Do your thing there.
Uh-huh.
Do your thing.
And Slebro.
But I never used to fight. You know what I honestly used to do? No joke. What I used to do to avoid fights is I would try and be as colored as possible in those situations because everyone was afraid. Like everyone.
Yeah.
So like something would happen and then I'd be like, bro. Never, and then like people would be like, yo, makalat. Like people were scared.
Yeah.
So afraid of colored people. Like when I was growing up that I was like, oh, this is the thing. Out of jail immediately.
Why is that? Why do you think we're that scared? Is it because like you're talking like you've got nothing to lose? Like I will die on top of you.
You know what it was? I think it was two things. It was the fact that colored people, because of gangs at the time,
True.
colored gangs were considered the most dangerous gangs in South Africa. The numbers gangs, you couldn't, like everyone was afraid of them. And on top of that, how do you threaten someone who doesn't have teeth? Your mind, you're laughing, but your mind goes, this person already has nothing to lose. Because what's the thing you're scared of in a fight? Someone's going to punch your teeth out. If you don't have teeth, you're like, this person's not afraid of me.
Because also, you like, maybe they lost their teeth in a fight.
You don't know.
So they experienced.
You don't know.
Or maybe they took them out themselves. And
either way, you don't want to mess with that person.
Either way, you're not there.
And mentally, people would just be afraid. So I was like, this is the thing.
So when people, speak about people, especially successful people, they always want to pinpoint, where the well is, right? Where did it all start? What did you do so much that you ended up where you are?
I worked hard.
At what?
I worked a lot, I would say.
So do you think that everything that you did, like be it a taxi driver or when you were selling CDs in high school, everything that you did it with such a lot of work ethic, which is why you're here? Or is there something that you specifically did that got you exactly where you are?
I can say what got me where I am today was taking a chance and doing what I loved. I think too many people focus on doing what they think is successful versus doing what they love. So people go, I want to be a doctor or an accountant or a lawyer or in entertainment, I want to be famous. Why? Because of the money. But you don't realize life is so long that you're going to live this life hating it for the money. Why do you want money? So I can enjoy my life. What if you could enjoy your life doing what you love? If your job was something you loved, you don't need as much money as you think you do. But the thing is, everyone tells you that money is what's going to make you happy, and it doesn't make you happy.
Money gives you choices, though.
Yes, money gives you choices.
But I mean, then choose to be happy.
Money also gives you, like sometimes it's the paradox of choice. Now you have too many choices. Now you have too many ideas. Now you have the fear. You know the one thing no one talks about with getting money? When you've been poor and you get money, the fear of losing it. People who've been rich forever don't know what that feeling is like. And people who are poor, unfortunately, don't know what that feeling is. But when you get money and you come from a poor family, you know how you are so afraid. So whenever someone says, come do something for money, then you go like, I have to do it because I need
to stack it up.
Tomorrow.
I need to increase the distance between poverty and me.
Everyone.
Do you have that?
Yeah, all the time. I had a conversation with Will Smith. He had that.
Oh, wow.
Then I was like, then he told me he had it with Oprah. You see, I was going up, he went up. I was like, wow, Will Smith has that. Then he says,
and then Oprah's like, she had it with Warren Buffett.
Oprah told me that she's still afraid of, if you've been poor, you'll always be afraid of being poor. So for me, it was always just doing what I loved. I took a chance. I was at a radio station, YFM. And at the time, they were revamping everything. Young people were coming in. And there was a chance that I was going to be one of the new young people who was going to take over. And I had a chance at a good future in radio. And then comedy came. And then I literally had a choice one day. Either I go, and it was to go and work for 1 week doing comedy, or to stay and do a year at radio at YFM. And I chose the 1 week in comedy. Everyone thought I was crazy. People were emails,
and also because back then,
everything.
Successful-wise, the radio people were the successful ones. That was the most staple job. So to go and risk it on that side, it was quite a crazy thing to do.
It was insane. Radio was where the rock stars were. Abo Fresh, you know what I'm saying?
Glenn,
Gareth Cliff, Glenn, like all of these people. Bad Boy T.
Oh,
you know
Rude Boy Paul.
Like, come on. For you to say, I'm the one who's not going to do this, I'm going to go and do, like, that was crazy at the time.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. I want to give you a question, and on the other side of the break, you can answer it. Out of everything you've just said now, and think about all the things that you have done, what was a complete waste of your time? He'll answer that after the break. And welcome back to Real Talk right here on SABC3. Earlier, Trevor said I'm being formal. So, like, can I just slouch down a bit?
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying when you know someone personally, then you see them at their work.
Yeah.
You know how it is. Doesn't matter if it's TV or if you work at, like,
At the
Jets
bank.
or the bank or anywhere.
There's the office voice.
Yeah, you know when your friend comes in and then like, sure, Anele, then you're like, shh, hello,
I'm at work.
hello, how are you? Oh, you know your friends are like, oh, you know, shh, hello, let me talk to you afterwards. I will convene with you afterwards. Like it's
like,
that type of
don't
thing.
mess with the paycheck.
Thank you for coming.
I'm already on appraisal.
Thank you for coming. That's what
right.
it feels like.
So before the break, I asked you a question.
Yes.
Out of everything that you've done, what do you feel like was a complete waste of your time?
Nothing was a waste of my time.
I was hoping you wouldn't say that.
I'm genuinely, I tried to think hard and long. Then I go, there is nothing that did not help me get to this point. Everything that didn't go well became a story to talk about when I went well. Everything that didn't go as I planned made me what I am today. And then everything that went well is why I'm here. So, and maybe it's also as a comedian, it helps a lot.
Oh, because then you've got stories.
Yeah, then you go like, oh, this was a failure. So as a comedian, what's great is if I go on a date and then it doesn't work, then I'm like, I've got a show now.
It must actually suck to go on a date with a comedian.
Why?
Because you're just like, I want this to work out, but they'll be happy if it doesn't work out because
Yeah,
they're going to go
like
talk
you
about
must-
it.
But that's great, it's freedom. Freedom. Now I must be indebted to you on a date.
Yes, you have to.
No.
You have to make it work with me.
No.
No. So when I was reading your book, there was a point when you said that your mom says she used to eat like the mud, like on the banks, right?
Yes.
Because she'd get that hungry when she was living in the Eastern Cape
Yeah.
with family. And I read that, I was like, yo, I know now things are fine and all of that, but that's a low moment.
Yeah,
right?
my mom has lived. You know what was funny? Because I used to think I had a tough life in my family.
Yeah.
I used to complain. I was like, I remember when there was a time when for months, all we could afford was masonja, like
Mopani worms, yeah.
And I could only eat morojo, raw
Yeah.
spinach. Like, that's all we could eat. I was like, what a tough life. Then my mom told me her story.
Yeah.
And she said, when I was a kid, sometimes I would get so hungry, I would go to the river, take the clay,
Just to fill up my stomach.
eat the clay, and the clay would fill me up. Then I would go and eat with the family, and then I would feel full.
Because I wasn't going to get
Sometimes
enough
she'd
food.
eat with the pigs. Like, which
Sheepers.
is funny because my mom till this day loves amakipkip
Yeah.
because
That's what
they
they
used to feed
the
pigs.
pigs.
And then she's like, I love this. It reminds me of my childhood. And I never knew Kip had that. I was just like, these things are nice.
Millennials.
Then she told me, pigs eat those things. And I was like, no, then, so I always appreciate those moments and those stories where you realize how far your family has come. And we're not talking about hundreds of years.
Just this one.
South Africa is a country where
Yeah.
this generation, just one generation before you, the amount of change they can talk about in their lives
Yeah.
is so extreme. So extreme. We take it for granted.
So if that was your mother's low point, the eating clay, and I am now assuming on her behalf, maybe she's got lower points that she hasn't told you
Yeah.
about. What would you say is your low point? Like,
Wow.
is it like the day you ran out of petrol and you couldn't make a gig? Is it the day, I mean, I assume you couldn't take a girl out on a date because you didn't have
No,
money?
I was lucky. Those low points for me were overshadowed by just food for me. One thing I've always loved is having food.
Yeah.
I still love having,
Yeah.
better than anyone.
Yeah,
I love food.
I know.
Like my grandmother, till this day, Ukoko calls me the rubbish bin of the family.
I've watched you eat
Yes.
half a
Yes.
sheep, literally the
Yes.
side of a
I
sheep by
eat-
himself
I eat.
at my house, like gone.
Anele, I eat. I
Yeah.
love food so much because food for me always meant the family was doing well. Till this day, there are many things I don't care for, but food, oh man, food. If I go out, I want to order more than I need. I want to order for everyone. I want the people to eat. Because for so long we couldn't. My lowest points was honestly, I remember for months of my life, every day, it was morojo, and maybe it was like morojo and pap, masonja and pap, morojo and pap, but like for months. When you, like, one day I went to my mom and I cried and I said, please, can we get pilchards, please?
Wow. So that
Please.
was a celebration. Like when you get pilchards,
Pilchards?
it was luxury.
Are you playing?
No.
Lucky Star.
Yeah. Look, I like pilchards. I like it to
Lucky
this
Star,
day.
spicy.
Yeah.
No. I was gone.
I was watching this interview and they were speaking to you about the first year on the Daily Show, and they asked you, what were you hoping for? What were you hoping for? And you said, and I actually paused after you said that, and I was like, whoa, what? You said, I wasn't hoping for anything. I didn't want a specific reaction. I just wanted to do well. So you hadn't fabricated a reaction that you were going to get.
No. No, why? Here's the thing, like with hoping, and I think sometimes, and that's maybe, it's a weird thing to say. You know, people go reach for your dreams.
Yeah.
I sometimes think even your dreams will limit you, because your dreams are limited by the world and the reality that you can conceive. So if you grow up in a world where, for me, my dream growing up, my dream was to have a house full of food, was to drive a nice car, BMW or Mercedes, and was to have a double story.
Oh, wow.
If I could just run upstairs, downstairs.
Oh, please. Black kids didn't call it a double story. We called it the upstairs.
Yeah, upstairs, downstairs.
It's just like a convertible is a drop top.
Upstairs, downstairs.
Upstairs, downstairs, okay?
That's all I wanted in my life. So when I was able to achieve these things, then it's like, now what do you do? Because people always get it, I never wanted fame. I still do not care for those things.
That much I know, yeah.
I mean, my dream was always, can I afford to pay for things? Can I eat? Can I live a good life? That was my dream. So then when that was achieved, I was like, so now life, like where do you go from there?
Is that why you very, and I know this because I know you personally, you very, I don't want to say blasé, you're not fazed about, you know, positive reaction.
Yeah.
And you're not fazed by negative reaction. Because we'll be like, oh, wow, look at this article, Trevor, they're saying all these things. And you're like, yeah, sure, it's fine, you know. Because as good as it comes, it's going to be as bad as it can come.
I appreciate positive feedback.
Yeah.
I appreciate negative criticism because you need both. What I don't do, or I try my utmost, is to not allow them to dictate how I feel. I believe as an artist, as a creator, as anyone, even in your whatever area of the world you work in, you should be able to know that you are doing the best that you can do. You should be your only gauge. So when I get off a stage doing comedy, I go, that wasn't good enough for me. I always try and maintain a certain level of consistency so that even the audience can say, no, that was a good show. I go, yes, but for me, I could have done better.
Okay.
For me, I could have done better in that show. For me, I could have done better doing that TV show. For me, I could have done better. Whatever it is, I could have done better. So if I'm critical of myself, the thing you're going to tell me will not change that. You know, if you say, yeah, Vele, Trevor, you were horrible, then I'm like, I knew that.
Don't worry about it.
And if you go, no, you were good, then I'm like, no, but I wasn't. So you don't know what my good is then. So I can't use that. I can appreciate, and I genuinely do, but you must be careful. If you are happy when the people like you, then that means you must be sad when the people don't like you. And so if you have to ride with the people are fickle. People will say one thing and then go another way, and then now I must be,
You'll never be stable. You'll never be consistent.
No.
When I watched your show now, The Daily Show, and I mean, you're a year in and doing very well, I kind of appreciate the fact that you did get like negative reviews, because I find that now you are kind of molding the way people think. You questioning them and you're shaping them. So it shouldn't be easy for you to be in that position.
No.
So it has
Not
to
at
be
all.
difficult. You have to be, because you're a jester, right?
Yes.
You have to be the jester that gets jested.
Yes.
If you're going to be given such a platform of power and influence. Would you agree?
Well, I will say this. One thing that is nice about negative feedback and not being liked, I spent my life not being liked. I grew up not being liked. I only know how to be an outsider. So in my world, I was the kid growing up, Soweto, where everyone was looking at me going, what is this thing of yours? We albino, what's going on?
What are you?
What are you?
Yeah.
I grew up in a colored area in Eden Park where all the colored kids were like, why do you talk funny? You get what I'm saying? I grew up, when I went to school now, I was the kid, I was lucky that I could go to a private school, but I didn't have the money of a private school. So now the kids were
So
like,
you're in, but you're out.
so now the kids were like, why don't you get picked up by your mom? Why are you walking? What's your story? How come you can't come to the mall on Saturday? Who are you? So I was always out. I've only ever known how to be an outsider. So what life has forged me into is a person who knows how to exist beyond being part of the club. So with negative criticism and those things, it doesn't trick you into being liked, because the danger of being liked is you do the thing because the people like you and you want to remain liked. Now you're not doing what you want to do, you're doing what...
You're pandering to the crowd.
You're doing, how do I keep them liking me? Whereas think of it like a relationship. A lot of the time when we meet people in relationships, we give them the impression of who we want them to think we are.
Yes.
So you have two people dating each other who don't know who the other person is. So you go, I fell in love with him. Oh, I fell in love with her. And the two of you don't know each other. Then in the relationship, you will go, you changed. You changed. Yeah, not you changed. You've become yourself. If we met each other from the beginning and didn't like each other or did like each other, then we now know where we stand. So if I meet you from the beginning and you go, I don't like you, then it's fine. I don't like you. Now we can go from there.
Now we can grow from there.
Exactly. And so for me, you go, also like, it's the most natural thing for humans to do. You've been through this. I've been through this. Take over a new show on radio. Take over.
Take over any show. Forget radio, just any show.
Forget even shows.
Yeah.
Take over in a family. See what happens. Here's your new father. Children, your new dad. Come, here's your new dad. See what kids, even though they go, that person, my mom loves them, we don't like new things that seem to replace something that we love. Okay. And so that's the same thing I went through here. Took over something that people loved, and I understood why. They have to be angry, because I do the same thing. When they changed Achimuroka's love life in Generations, I will never forget where I was like, that woman there, I don't know who that
Priscilla.
is. That's not Priscilla.
I don't like her.
When Tina was out, I was like, oh, that's not Priscilla. I go back, and whenever a character changes in a soapy, remember when Bo kept on changing back and forth?
They changed Thorn, and they changed Ridge. You're just like, I'm out.
Ridge is gone.
Yeah, Ridge is gone. Ron Moss is
I'm
gone.
out.
Now I have to stop you because we have to go
out.
to an ad break. On the way, I know I've been speaking about this book and you're panicking, right? Because you don't know about the book. You're like, what book? What book? It's called Born a Crime. He has released a book. We're going to chat about it. Don't go anywhere. And we're back with Trevor Noah. Born a Crime. That's your book.
Yes.
Is it the first of many?
I don't know. It depends if the people like the book or not. If the people don't like the book, then why would I make another one?
Because maybe you're thinking, I'm 32 and maybe it was early for me to write a book about myself.
No, but if the people go, don't write anymore.
It's fine.
Then I won't write.
Thank you.
It's like, I'll be like, okay, sorry guys.
Enough from you.
It's fine. I don't know. I told my stories. I've shared a lot of myself, my life, the life I shared with my mom, the world that I grew up in. It's a very candid book, very candid stories. Because a lot of people don't know how you get to places. A lot of people don't know who you are, you know? And I've never been a fan of the facade. I want people to understand that we are all capable of anything. We are all from the same. We can all get anywhere. Some are going to have a tougher journey than others, but it's not magic. It comes from somewhere.
I read such a cool quote on a card in Nashville. We were in Nashville before we came to New York, and it said, everyone is that kid from somewhere.
Yeah.
You know? And then it reminded me of your book. But obviously, before you decide you're going to write a book, something happens. It could be a lot of things, like 5 of them, or one thing, or somebody says something. What are the events that led to you saying, you know what, I'm going to put this down in a book?
It was telling people stories, telling you guys stories, friends. Then people go, man, that story, Trevor. Wow, tell us that story again. What happened that day? Tell us the stories. Tell us. And everyone has friends who have those stories. And then the same thing when I got to the US, people like, that story, that's a wild story, that's a crazy story. Then they were like, why don't you write these stories? Because you don't tell these stories on stage. Then I'm like, yeah, because these are not comedy like stories. You know, I haven't turned them into stand-up comedy. And then they were like, you should put them in a book then. And I was like, it's a different way to communicate with people.
Did you grapple with the fact that you're naming it the same as one of your DVDs?
No, I didn't mind that. Because Born a Crime wasn't in South Africa. No, there's no DVD called Born a Crime.
Isn't there?
No.
There is.
No. There's no DVD called that.
Oh,
I did a show.
A show then.
Yeah.
Sorry, my mistake.
I did a show in Edinburgh called Born a Crime.
Why do I know about that show then if I wasn't in Edinburgh? Oh, okay.
You know things you're not supposed to know.
I know, right? I'm like an insider.
Yeah.
So this is the thing now. I'm just like.
You know things you're not supposed to know.
Okay, so there was a show in Edinburgh.
Yes.
You were a DJ, but you never gave yourself a DJ name.
No.
Right?
Yo, I thought hard about that, eh?
But then why didn't you?
What's your DJ name?
I was the dominatrix of the airwaves.
Are you being serious?
I promise you, for exactly 3 weeks, and then it sounded silly, so I stopped it.
I never. What did I have? No, I didn't.
Can we give you a DJ name quickly?
What's my DJ name?
I think you would have been like DJ Pretty Boy.
Oh, that's funny. When I was a DJ, I wasn't pretty.
Okay.
Uh,
Think about it.
no, it was just DJ Noah.
DJ Noah.
Yeah.
The Ark.
It was Noah's Ark. That was the name of my show.
Okay, then you're fine
Yes.
then.
What it went, how did it go again? It was Akin Omotoso's voice. And then he went,
Is this the radio show on
yeah,
YFM? Okay.
Yeah. Then what did he used to say to introduce my show?
2 by 2.
Yeah.
Noah's Ark.
Yeah, he'd say something like that. He'd go, when the lights go down and it's after dark, they come in 2 by 2 into Noah's Ark. And then I'd play like a little introduction of all like the DJs who rapped about Noah. Make it like Vela, I was in the mix there. Like just all the rappers who were like, my man Noah. Then I was like, yeah, that's me.
That's me. And what type of show did you wish to do? Because now I'm digressing.
On radio?
Yes, because I want to talk about your book, but let's talk about radio quickly.
I just like to talk. You must remember, my show was at 3 in the morning on weekends.
I
on
know,
YFM.
I've been there.
Yes. So I was talking to people. You know when you know all of your callers personally?
Because there's all 4 of
People
them.
are phoning. We're going to take calls. Hello? Trevor. Oh, Javas. How are you, my man? Ah, Trevor, I'm fine, Trevor. So, you remember last week when we were talking about... And you're like, yes,
Yeah.
I remember Javas. Javas, you need to answer the question. Which song by Naughty by Nature is your favorite? Yeah, Trevor, I'll answer that one after. But listen, you know last week, Trevor, with, and then you're like, you know the people
Like,
personally.
Javas.
But you know them, they became your friends. The phone lines, you knew exactly who was calling where. Then I was just like, I'm just doing a show. I always thought my show was just a show to help drunk people get home safely.
You were like Uber.
Yeah, basically. There was no Uber.
You were Uber before
Yes.
Uber. Get you home
Yes,
safely.
that's who I was. I was like, I'm going to get you home. I used to say to people, guys, if you're drunk, please stop for a little bit. Relax in the car.
Drink some water,
Yes.
lie down
That's
in the
all I
back
did.
seat, and then rate me.
That's
when you
Give me 5 stars.
Give me 5 stars when you get home.
5 stars,
Javas
yeah.
is gonna get your book.
Give me 5 stars.
Javas, you better, wherever
I
you
hope
are,
so.
you better go and get Born a Crime. So I'm one of the people who got to write I reviewed your book, and then I had to like write.
Thank
Is
you.
that called a blurb? That thing you write on the
Yes,
back? It's a
yes,
blurb, ne?
Yes.
So I wrote a blurb.
Thank you.
Have you seen my blurb?
No, I haven't.
Can I read you my blurb?
Read the blurb.
Born a Crime strikes a perfect balance of humor and seriousness. It is wild and calming. It makes you want to sit and reflect silently and also pick up the phone and question loved ones. It is both Xhosa and Swiss, the two forces that created this crime. Bravo, Trevor. This book gave me all the answers about you to questions I never knew I had.
Oh, thank you, Anele.
Are you genuinely moved by that?
Thank you.
Are we kumbaya?
No, I'm being serious.
That's the thing about the book, because I genuinely think I know you. In fact, I
Yes.
know you. But then I read this book and I realize I actually don't know you.
But we don't know. You know what I realize is this: with friends and family, we take for granted that we know people, but we don't know people because we don't often like ask people questions, and you can't get all the answers from asking questions. I know you. I know what you like. I know what you don't like. I know what makes you laugh, what makes you not. You know, I know who you are. But there are things that we don't share with each other. You know, there are things that sometimes it's even easier to write it down and give it to somebody than to say it to someone's face. So I get that a lot, and people go, I didn't know that,
Yeah,
but I've known you my whole life. That happens with comedians as well sometimes. Some of my friends will say something in a show about their lives, and I say, but I didn't know that. And they're like, yeah, I don't tell that to people.
Did you find yourself a little vulnerable writing this book?
Yeah, definitely.
Very
Definitely,
open,
because I
exposed?
talk about everything. One of the biggest things I've learned to talk about, that's the hardest thing to talk about, especially for South Africa, but even in the world, is growing up in a world of domestic abuse. Because we've gotten to the place where, like, for some reason, the victims are the ones who are ashamed. You know, no one wants to say, my mom gets beaten by my dad, because now you were ashamed. I don't live in a perfect house. No one wants to say...
And you're not necessarily protecting your mom, you're actually protecting your dad.
It's a strange thing.
Yeah.
You go, I don't want to say that I have been in an abusive relationship. I don't want to say that somebody, you get what I'm saying? And so you live in a world where women and children are protecting these men who are the ones who should be the ones who are ashamed.
Yeah.
Men are walking through the streets confidently.
Protected.
You know, I gave her. And you're like, you should be the one who's ashamed. Why I didn't do anything. I'm the victim here. We are the victims. Why are we the ones who are not speaking? And I realized the more we speak about it, the more we can get it out there. The more we get it out there, the less people are ashamed. There's nothing to be ashamed about. The only people who should be ashamed are the ones who are doing it. Because if you're a man who lays his hands on a woman, you're not a man.
You don't belong here.
And I understand that there are many forces. Many men, especially, you know, when it comes to the world that they've lived in, men live in a space where we are taught not to share. We are taught not to feel. We are taught not to cry. We are taught not to be afraid. We are taught, you know,
you must be unshakable.
Man
you must
be
be
the
a
man,
force.
the man.
You must be.
But what happens to you is you then live in a world where you're constantly trying to be more than you are or more than you believe you should be. And what happens is for some men, that breaks them and they can only realize their power by oppressing somebody else. So I've definitely felt vulnerable writing a book because it's the truth.
Did you have to ask your mom for permission to write it and just say, listen, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to say these things?
No, because unfortunately for us, our story's in the newspapers.
Okay.
You know, once the tabloids have written your things, there's nothing.
Is there anyone you had to ask for permission to write this book?
No.
So you just went
It's my
ahead.
story.
Uh-huh.
It's my story.
Okay.
You know, so I think at the end of the day, and one thing I don't do, I don't try to hurt people. There's nothing in the book where you go, Trevor, how can you say that about that person? No, no. No, because secrets are still people. Secrets, I believe in certain things where I respect you, you know. But sharing my thoughts and my life, that's what's in the book.
All right, after the break, more on Born a Crime. So if you've just joined us, you're probably wondering what's going on here. Real Talk with Anele. I'm in New York on Trevor set on The Daily Show, and I'm interviewing the man himself. He's just released the book, Born a Crime. I read it. Like I say, I loved it. I found, you know, answers to questions that I never knew I had about you. Because I would have just asked you, be like, hey, so, you know, your dad. And the one thing I took out of the book, reading about your dad, is that I feel like he taught you patience.
Yes, he did.
Besides the fact, you know, when you finally found him after a few years, you guys had been estranged, and then you found him and you went to go visit him in Cape Town, and you were firing all these questions at him, you know, and he was like, whoa, Trevor, is this an interview?
But he taught, more important than patience, he taught me efficiency. That's really what it is.
Okay.
So he taught me in and around, a lot of the time we do things.
Yeah.
And we do everything. We don't even ask why we're doing it or how we're doing it, or, you know, we just do it.
Okay, that makes sense now.
And then he goes, what is the most efficient way to do it?
So
That's a Swiss way of thinking, precision.
But when it comes to the relationship between you two, because I mean, now you were dying to catch up on all these years where, you know, you guys weren't speaking. Well, you didn't fight, you just fizzled out. Then you find him and you're spending a weekend with him, and because you feel like you've lost out, you're asking him all these questions. And he's like, is this an interview? And then you were like, yeah, but I just want to get to know you. And then he said, how do you get to know your friends?
Yes, you just talk and you live with them.
By spending time with them.
Exactly.
So when you say efficiency, are you saying spending time with purpose?
Yes, basically, because if you think about it, if you're trying to get to know someone, the most efficient way to do it is not to question them. Because if you're questioning them, they're answering you. If they're answering you based on your questions. If you merely exist with them, I find that the person will be, when they be, you will know who they are.
Okay. So that's a direct lesson.
Yes. That was like, that's, you know, that's for me.
Looking at him and watching him, and without him, you know, interacting with you and talking to you, what's an indirect lesson that you've learned just by watching your dad?
Wow, that's an interesting one. What's an indirect lesson that I've learned just by watching him?
Yeah.
He's content in himself. You know, he's not doing it for other people. It's not Mr. Look at me. He's just doing it. Sometimes we get tricked into that. You do it for the people, you're not doing it for yourself. Like, who are you by yourself? When no one's there, when it's just you at home, when you look in the mirror, who do you see? Who do you want to be? And that's something that I learned from him. He's not doing it for anyone or anything. He is who he is because that's who he wants to be.
What's the nicest thing you've heard him say about your mom?
The nicest thing?
Oh, you know.
is that like she could light up a room. Always. He was just like, is your mom, he'd always ask me, he'd go like, so your mom, is she still making the people happy, huh? She's still, yeah, she's still running, she's still, he always talked about her life, you know, her energy.
Like her zest and her energy.
Yeah.
And what's the nicest thing you've heard your mom say about him?
He's great with money. That's like can I tell you something? That's the biggest gift my dad gave my mom and the family.
Okay.
He taught us the importance of money and how to manage money. You know, because we were living in a world where, unfortunately, it's the trap that a lot of black people fall into. We get money. First thing we want to do is, where's the car? Where's the house? Where's the clothes? We never think of the tomorrow. We haven't had for long enough.
So in your book, you say your mom taught you how to talk to women. You'd walk into the house and then you wouldn't look at her in the eyes like, yeah, hi mom, bye mom. And she's like, Trevor, look at me in the eyes.
Yes.
And talk to me, because one day you're going to live with a woman and you need to be able to look her in the eyes and talk to her and tell her how you feel.
Yes.
And tell her that you love her.
You have to see her. You have to see her. Men and women communicate very differently. Very differently. For guys, we value different things than what women value most of the time. You know? So for guys, like a guy will go, like you know, people get into fights and be like, we haven't spent any time together. Then the guy will be like, we spent the whole weekend together. Then the woman goes, no, but that wasn't quality time. You were on your phone, your friends were here the other day.
You were playing TV
we
games.
went there, you were playing on PlayStation, you were watching soccer, you were doing this. Then it's like, but we had a bride together. Yeah, but that was with everyone. Your woman will appreciate it more if you spend 1 hour with her in a day where you just look her in the eyes, nowhere else, just in the eyes, the whole time. Tell me, baby, tell me everything. How was your day? Don't look at your phone. Don't look. Just 1 hour every day. Your woman will appreciate that more than spending a whole day with her, doing this, talking. And then my mom taught me these things. She was like, you know, communicate differently. A woman and a man don't use the same languages of love in the same way. So you learn these things. My mom had to raise me, you know, to be a man.
Exactly. And I mean, she was a single mom raising you to be a man, so she had to, you know, practice the tough love on you. So I don't think she is, but I have to ask this. Is she like asking you when the grandkids are coming? And oh, really?
Yeah, of course.
You never speak about that.
Of course.
So is she like,
of course.
Just, I don't care if you get married, just bring me a kid
My
now.
mom is like, where is he? Where is the child?
Huh?
And what was funny is my whole life, my mom was like, if you get a girl pregnant,
you leave this house.
This house, you're not coming in. My mom used to say, I'll take the child and you'll go.
Oh, wow.
You'll swap rooms. That'll be my child and then you'll go find your way in the world. I need to, you're a man now.
Yeah.
So go and be a man. So I was like, my whole life I was like, yo, okay, make sure, Trevor, make sure, no
Wrap
mistakes,
it up.
no mistakes, safety first, no mistakes. And then now my mom is like, and then?
She's out there pricking
Yeah,
your condoms.
Mama.
Like, I will get a grandson.
Sending me those government condoms.
Stapled?
Those stapled ones. Sending me stapled condoms.
So when are you? When are you?
Getting a child?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not like I'm trying.
So you're not
I
currently
don't
trying?
understand why everyone just wants children.
Because my son needs a playmate.
Oh, so this is for you.
It's going to be a long commute though.
This is now I must.
It's like, hey mom, I'm going to Uncle Trevor's house. I'm just going to take this 19-hour flight.
Wow, no, that's the thing. Sometimes I wonder why people have kids. I'm like, we're just making them, Vel. We're just all going to make them. Why?
Because you need to
But
leave
there's no
something
space.
behind.
Yeah, you leave something behind. Build a house.
You live in New York. You know how to live with no space, okay? Don't come here and say there's no space.
No, but there's no space though. Like sometimes I wonder, I go like, maybe I'll have a kid, maybe I won't. Maybe I'll adopt, maybe, because I'm like, there's so many people. So you really want to make more.
No, man. Trevor, reading your book and the way your mom described having you, that she wanted something that was her own.
Yes.
You have to want a little bit of that.
Yeah, or sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes I go, yo, it would be cool. You know, when you're like, little man, I'll have a little version of myself. Then I see that, then I see a kid at the shops with their mom. Then I'm like, I don't want those things. Those things I don't want them.
You'll change your mind. You will change your mind. On the way, I asked our friends to send questions in for you.
Oh, wow.
Yes, so our friends...
we'll see if they're still friends.
after this, right? On the way, you want to hear all about that. Stay with us. And for the last time today, welcome back to Real Talk on 3. I'm with Trevor, Noah, his friends who are also my friends. That's why I could email them and ask them this. I asked them to to send you questions. So once again, like in your book, were you giving us answers that we never knew?
I wonder if some people think we like TV friends, because you know, like there's people. I remember when I was first in TV, my mom used to ask me questions about other celebrities
that are just like
as if we were friends.
Yeah.
So my mom would phone me, and then she'd go, Trevor, what's this thing in Sunday Sun? Then I'm like, what? Then she'd be like, no, I heard Kenneth Nkosi is doing drugs. Then I'm like, Mom, I don't even know Kenneth that way. I don't.
Is he not right next to you?
Yeah. Then like everyone thinks. So I wonder if sometimes people think we are TV friends when in fact
we really are friends.
Real friends.
No, we are really friends. Guys.
Yes.
This is just not, you know. It extends to this, and
Yes.
it works in our favor most of the time.
Yes,
but you know,
real friends.
So one of our friends, Polisa, says, "What's the thing you miss most about SA that you took for granted when you were there?"
The thing I took for granted when I was in SA was the potential to grow. That is the thing I miss the most. You don't appreciate it in South Africa. A lot of the time people preach about how South Africa is crashing and how it's burning and it's turning into Zimbabwe and it's the worst place. One thing we possess in the country, if we are willing to pursue it, is the ability to grow. There's untapped opportunities. There is an untapped market. There is an untapped, but both sides need to come together, you know? Like
True.
Julius Malema, yeah, people want to laugh at him and he says crazy things, but he is right.
Yeah.
White capital does need to acknowledge in some way that there is a black electorate that has been pushed away for so long. But at the same time, black people must also admit it's very hard to for someone to just give away the money. You've got to find a compromise in every conversation. You've got to find, and like, if people don't see it from both sides, if people just go, you're wrong,
then it's
no
never
one goes anywhere.
Yeah,
no one
it's never
goes
gonna
anywhere.
move together and make
There's
a plan.
always compromise, and people go, no compromise, no then you're like, what you don't realize is if you don't compromise in a negotiation, you'll compromise in war. At some point, you're gonna get a compromise. And so,
and when it's a forced compromise,
exactly.
Then
And so people don't realize, the one thing we have in South Africa, man, I took it for granted. We have the potential to grow. We have talent. We have a melting pot of people that doesn't exist in most places in the world. We have culture. We have a rich history. We have one of the best constitutions in the world, an amazing democracy. The way it's set up is phenomenal. The fact people go out democracy, no, the fact that, look at it in such a short space of time, people going and I'm voting for the DA. Forget black, white. Now I'm going this party.
That choice.
This choice is now a thing.
Choice, yeah.
And it's good because let's say if the ANC rules forever, that's not good. Because now what's happening is it's a monopoly and it's a dictatorship. It needs to be a thing where even if the ANC is in power, they are going, we need to keep you. We need to show you why you should vote for us. Not you voting just because. This is not black party, white party. No, we've got to get to a point in politics where black and white are choosing sides. You know, and you're choosing because of the party and what they represent for you. So the biggest thing I took for granted, you come to America, they've been doing this for 200 years.
This democracy thing.
200 years, people fighting about the same things. Now there's not even a conversation. Here, people don't shift. People don't go, no, next election I might do this. No,
because
people are like, this is who I
am.
This is what I do. If you're this person, you go to that party. If you're that person, you go to that party. And the country as a whole, it's like jammed. The laws don't get made. The country doesn't move. You don't feel the same.
They move to stand in the same place.
There's less growth in the economy. Like with us, we struggle because of corruption and because of things that you see with the president and the way the systems are run. That's a problem, but we can fix it. When it's just a problem where you can't see.
To maneuver ourselves.
I always say in South Africa, we've got problems. The problems involve corruption and unfortunately fixing what has happened for so long. We mustn't act like now
it didn't happen.
It didn't happen. You know, for years people were poking holes in black people's buckets. Now you wonder why they can't get the water that they need. You know, and yes, there are some black people who are very, very rich. They've got giant buckets,
They've
but
got
it doesn't
lots of
mean
buckets.
there are people who don't. So that's the biggest thing I enjoy and I miss about South Africa.
Wow, very political, eh? That answer of yours, I'm just like...
We must all be political, Anele.
Sometimes, eh?
We must all be political.
Why
I've realized that.
Why do you say that?
We take it for granted. Political doesn't mean you're a comrade or you're not. No. Political means we are actively involved in how our world and our lives are being shaped.
When you
complain about potholes, you don't realize that potholes are political. When you complain about load shedding, you don't realize that's political. Everything you complain about in your life is political. Why is the highway not being built? Political.
Why is the bridge falling?
Political. Why am I not getting the money I'm supposed to get at work? Political. Why are there not more jobs? Political. All of these things, political. Why don't fees fall? Political. All of these things are tied in.
I need to move on. Kaya, if you could skinny dip with anyone in the world, would you put on sunscreen?
Hey, Chisa Kaya. Obviously, you know, Kaya is he's such a good guy and also at the same time such a dirty mind. Eh?
He's a dirty uncle.
Yes, Kaya.
And that laugh.
Yes, I would put on sunscreen.
Caesar, why do you like cars so much?
Why do I like cars so much? Because it was the one thing I couldn't get as a kid. We never had a new car. My mom never bought a car on layaway, lay-by, or monthly, or none of that. Installment, my mom bought things cash. We could only buy the cheapest, most broken. My car never had a handbrake.
Did you ever buy your mom a car when you made all this money?
No, because my mom was like, don't waste your money on a car. She was like, give me that money, I'll go do something with it. I'll go buy a house, I'll buy property. Hi. My mom was like, hi, Trevor. Hi, you're going to waste money. Sapa leo mali. Sapa. Then I was like, let me buy you a nice car. I don't want nice cars. My mom goes, I buy old cars, so if someone steals it or breaks in, I don't care.
Or someone like bumps into it.
I don't care. People bump my mom. My mom's like, I drive, it's fine.
Lisa's taking us back to politics. How prepared for Donald Trump did Jacob Zuma make you?
Yo, that's a tough one. I honestly, say what you want about Bab J. You know, Jacob Zuma has not been the best shining beacon of a leader in the country. What the ANC has done has let down the legacy of what the ANC was supposed to do. You know, I'm glad that voters are holding them accountable, because the only way you can make people become better is by showing them that you're not happy by voting for somebody else. The biggest thing, like, man, one thing I'll say about Jacob Zuma is Donald Trump is an idiot, man.
And Jacob isn't.
Jacob is not an
idiot.
Okay. He's not an idiot.
Yeah, the fact that, I mean,
there's too much corruption in and around his world.
Yeah.
But Donald Trump is an idiot, man. Like, we're talking about a stupid person who does not know what is happening where. Who Jacob, people will be like, he can't read numbers, what? No. Whoever writes these speeches must stop writing them as the number. Have you ever tried to read billions? Try there. It's not easy. They must write it as words. 722. He has bad eyesight and they write for him. Here's another thing I always say to people.
Yeah.
You know, one thing we take for granted is that you have a president who is presidenting in English. You know that doesn't happen anywhere in the world. A president presidenting in a language that's not theirs.
That's not theirs.
Imagine if Jacob Zuma only spoke Zulu all the time.
Yes.
Do we think he'd be saying the same things in the same ways?
Not a chance.
Yeah, so he is funny. We're going to make jokes about the things because he's our president, you know, and we mustn't let him off the hook. But I also go, don't make the mistake of thinking the person is stupid. He was not stupid to get there. Everyone likes to make that mistake.
And he's staying there.
They go, Julius stupid. Julius is not stupid. Julius is one of the smartest people around. Jacob is not stupid. Donald Trump, no, guys.
Stupid.
No, mumish.
Stupid.
Mumish.
Stupid. Anele, what are you like when you are in love?
What am I like when I am in love? I'm like when I'm not in love.
Really?
Can I tell you why?
Why?
Because I realized that if I love myself and I have friends that love me and family that loves me, I exist in a constant state of love.
Of love. So you don't have to like shift into this realm.
Have you never had, do you know how much that thing will destroy your life? Now you're happy. Things are going well at work. You're walking through the streets. People are like, Trevor, hey, what's happening?
Like,
good times.
You know those movies that music is playing?
You know, music's always playing in your head. Yeah. Then that person leaves. Now they leave with my happiness. They're going to leave with my happiness like it was a couch we bought at Labna's and then I didn't pay for it and now they get to take it. No, guys. They leave with my happiness. I can't allow that.
But as a woman, I do want to see the change that I've brought.
Yeah, you can amplify
yeah.
me. You can amplify me, but you just make me more of myself, the way I want to make you more of yourself.
But then, look, I want to be like, you know, Trevor's friends say, before I came along.
No, that's artificial.
Really?
No, before I came along, what? So I wasn't a good person before I met you.
You were fine. You were great. But
no, people want power over each other. They want to say, without me, you wouldn't be that man. Without me, no. You must be like, that's who I am. This person can. You guys look happy together. That's what I like. I like that phrase when they go, you guys look happy together.
Yes.
That's nice. But they mustn't say, yo, before you, Anele, ha. I don't want people saying that.
Because you want to know that you were like this finished product before this person came along.
No, I don't want people to say ever. No one must ever say that to you. That means you haven't worked on yourself. You're relying on somebody else to complete your happiness for you. No, guys. No. The way I am in love is the way I am now. I'm exactly the same.
Nothing changes.
I used to be that person where love would change my life. Then I'm crying on the couch, eating Pro-Neutral, watching old Afrikaans cartoons on TV, watching Z
and Zap Mag
and Zap Mag and all of you know, crying looking at my phone on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Last scene.
Ticks,
no reply, blue, no reply, blue. Hello, are you there? Hello. No, guys, no.
Okay, 2 more questions and then I have to let you go. Are you currently in love?
Yes, I'm very much in love.
Oh, look at that.
Very much in love.
Babies, please, no? Babies. Last question, are you happy?
Yeah, I'm very happy and I work on being happy. That's the thing I learned. Happiness is a choice. Happiness is hard work. Happiness is something you choose to be. People go like, I want to be happy. Be happy then. You know, you take for granted the idea that happiness is something you can achieve. If I can just get that job, then I'll be happy. You know, if I can just get that car, then if I can just get that girl, I'll be happy. What you don't realize is you need to be happy now, and then just those things will come to you.
Yeah.
Just
like
be
you and the
happy
love
now.
like theory. I like it actually.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Focus on being happy. Think of all the things. You know, like when I go back, man, I think of the happiness that we achieved with nothing. Think about growing up in the township. What were we doing?
We're just playing.
With what?
With a sock.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that was the best game.
Yeah.
I remember in school, suk banana. A belt has never brought me greater joy. Skop die bal. Who was like one thing? So much joy can come from nothing because you go, I will find the happiness. There was no kid in the township who was crying saying, we don't have a shopping mall. No, we were playing games and we were living our life. Like you can be happy in what you have. You can have a family. I remember visiting friends where I would visit a friend, big family, small house, not lots of money, and so much happiness.
Mari biscuits, baba.
And then you'd go to another family, so much money, no happiness.
Cold.
You have to choose. What do you want to be? I want to be happy. I'm not saying that means life is not tough. It doesn't mean you can't experience pain, but you go, I choose to be happy because you're choosing. So for instance, if you're flying somewhere and your flight gets delayed, why are you angry? Doesn't change anything.
It's delayed.
Yeah, it's not like now you're going to put petrol with your anger. When there's traffic, why are you angry? Traffic. It's changing nothing. It's just your mind and you're telling yourself, I must now become angry. You get what I'm saying? So I've come to realize I am happy and I work at being happy. It doesn't mean I can't get angry. It doesn't mean I can't get sad. I'm still a human being. But I'm very happy.
So you'll still be happy even if your book doesn't sell?
Yeah, because my book hasn't sold now. Think about it.
Yeah.
All you can do is send me back to this place where I am now. No one has bought my book, right? So I'm fine. So if someone buys my book, that's one more person than had bought my book before.
And that person is you. So you there, please go and buy Trevor's book, Born a Crime, out of stores soon. Trevor, thank you so much. This was such a blast.
Is this on SABC 3?
Yes.
I always wanted to be on SABC 3.
You were in Isitingo?
My dream was to get to SABC 3 because it was like levels.
Yeah.
It was levels.
And
SABC
now you're here.
1. And then SABC 2,
and then
SABC 3.
All right, this has been Real Talk from New York City. Thank you so much, Trevor Noah. Once more, please be the one person who does the right thing. A, you pay your TV license, and B, you go.
Oh, by the way, before you say that, SABC, stop telling me to pay my TV license. I don't live there anymore.
Oh, go away.
No, I don't live there anymore, guys. But I'm not there.
Like, if you live at TV in South Africa, it's not just my salary. How do you think I got here? I have to pay flights around, pay your TV license.
That's cheeky.